Property Management, a Supply Chain Analysis. My name is Evan Flynn. And starting off with our main topics, we have supplier relationship, which just goes into detail about who our suppliers are, and what type of relationship we have with them, how often we do business with them, and things along that line. Secondly, we have the customer relationship, which is who we're dealing with, like who our customers are, where they come from, who's renting which properties. Third, we have management flow, which just goes into kind of the hierarchy of who has the power, and if there's a problem, if a problem arises, who deals with that problem, who calls who, and it's just mostly like the hierarchy of how things are dealt with in the company. And then we have operations flow, which is more so just the daily, day to day operations and what kind of has to get done commonly throughout the day or throughout the week. So my position, I had a summertime internship there. I shadowed various landlords, and so what we would do, we would just go to if a tenant had a problem, we would show up and they would kind of tell us what they are dealing with, if they need something painted, if they need something repaired. Um, they would let us know, and then me and the landlord would go back, report to the boss about it, and then see what needs to get done about it. I would have to meet with contractors. So if there was a project going on and one of the apartments needed to be painted, for example, I would have to go and pick up the supplies from. If it was painting, we would go to Sherwin-Williams, pick up the paint, and then I would have to meet there at 8 a.m. to make sure uh, that they have all the supplies that they need to do the job before they're waiting on me for it. I would also sit in on meetings. So if there's some big job or some big project that takes a lot of money, we would all get together, the landlords, and it was nice that they included me as well, even though I was an intern. And we would all get together and we would discuss what our options are. So we would lay out, for example, four options, and we would go through and say, option one, two, three, or four, what is our favorite option, and give our reason why. And you kind of just have to like explain your side and why you chose that. And then it's kind of like democracy. The most people that voted on it on one option, then they would pick that option and try and find a solution. Also, I'd follow up with tenants' problems. So if something were just painted, or a light was just repaired, or if something was, or whatever was repaired, I would go and follow up and check on that, make sure that the job was done correctly, and if it wasn't, then I would have to call back the contractors to get them to fix it. But basically, just making sure that the tenant's happy with how the problem was dealt with. Our supplier relationship. So we have lines of credit open in various stores such as Lowe's and, like I mentioned earlier, Sherwin Williams. And on top of that too, we also use Home Depot. And basically, when you're running apartments and your own properties, you tend to have to renovate a lot because of depreciation. So we get all our renovating goods at these stores, and that includes stone, wood, paint, tools, machine, and not even for renovation, but for maintenance as well. So what I mentioned in machines and equipment, that's things like lawn mowers, weed whackers, jerry cans, things along that line that are more so for weed killer, things that are for maintenance more so than renovation. And occasionally a contractor would pick up the supplies themselves from the store, so we would just pay for it. If we trusted them, if they were a family friend or we've been doing business with them for a while and we know they're trustworthy, we just have them go uh, pick it up from the store. We'd already have it prepaid, and they would just go pick it up. So customer relationship, I have a picture of Binghamton University here, and the reason I do is because Binghamton University has had a massive expansion in the past 10 years into the downtown area, and that's where our buildings and our properties are located, are in the downtown areas. Now, it's kind of ironic because Binghamton University is technically in Vestal, which is the town over, but regardless, it's still only 5 minutes away from the downtown area and only 5 minutes away to us. So, because of that, we started noticing in our apartments and our houses, especially, that they were just filling up with just BU kids. So we kind of created like a little, or we kind of found like a little niche that we could take advantage of, and so because of that, we've been expanding our apartments and housing close to the downtown area because we've just had such an influx of Binghamton University kids moving into that downtown area. But like I mentioned earlier, we have a variety of properties. So we have apartments, houses, warehouses, smaller garages, plazas, and because of that, because we have a variety of properties, we have a variety of customers and a variety of segments of customers. So companies like AAA, um, and other companies that use big trucks kind of take our warehouses up. They take like the big warehouses, and they usually rent those out. And then we have companies and retailers like CVS and also small restaurants, and we Tioga State Bank kind of take advantage of the proper or the plaza rather, and retailers are in that location. And then obviously we have apartments and housing which house just regular either college students or just regular people that need a place to live. So because of that we have, and then also on top of that we have our small garages which people tend to start small businesses and start mechanic shops and repair shops and things like that. So it's basically just a wide variety of people kind of renting from us, like kind of on the commercial sector and then also on the residential sector as well, which is interesting. Management flow. So this is like the hierarchy, and there's one boss slash owner, and he has the final say. So like the day to day stuff, like I was mentioning, he kind of gives the yes or no quick say on that, whether or not it should be done or it shouldn't be done based on the knowledge that he has. But if it is bigger, um, then we'll all meet and report and kind of give our assessment of it. But there is six landlords who watch over the properties, and they report problems to the owner slash boss, and then the owner contacts the contractors to fix the problems. Um, the tenant would oftentimes they can kind of skip the middleman if they know the owner very well or if they've known him for a long time. They can kind of skip the landlords and just they have his number and they'll just text the owner and he'll get on it right away. He'll call the contractor or he'll call the electrician or the plumber or whoever it is to go sort out whatever problem that the landlord or that the tenant runs into. And then lastly, we have the operations flow, which is the day to day. So a lot of the times I would have to shadow the landlords and follow them around and check the properties to make sure that they're well maintained and clear trash and garbage. Unfortunately, we lit like the properties are in a lower income area, and there's a lot of people just throwing like they don't really care about where they throw their garbage. So we have a lot of garbage problems and a lot of vandalism problems of people either spray painting something or just simply just like destroying something. So we it's kind of sad, but we have to do like those routine checks like each day just to just to kind of get an idea of where the properties are at if they need some sort of maintenance or repair or whatever it is. You're just kind of making sure that it's the properties are looking presentable. When rent was due, I would have to go around to the different properties and collect the rent and then deposit it at the bank, get a bank slip, bring it down to the accountant's office, and then make sure that they have it and put it into um, file. Make sure that they put it into the file cabinet so that way they have that for evidence. Um, and then lastly, we would, like I mentioned earlier, again, like we'd have meetings on big issues, so issues that really had tens of thousands of dollars on the line, or just a project that would take 6 months, or things that were just bigger than like the daily day to day problems. We would have meetings about that, and it was nice that they let an intern kind of share my opinion on that and kind of give me a little bit of real life experience, to see how a business owner and the people working there kind of how they find a solution. It was nice to sit in on that and get that experience.